Okay, today we want to talk about our rules for naming covalent compounds. Here at Cody High School we refer to those as blues sometimes because of the color coding of the periodic table. What we're dealing with is compounds composed of nonmetals sharing electrons. Okay, we've talked about and named ionic compounds. Those are where we're dealing with charged particles coming together to create an overall charge of 0. In this case, we've got atoms of nonmetals sharing electrons until their valence shells are full and happy. Okay, now the naming rule adds a little wrinkle to the practices that we've been using for ionic compounds. Okay, when we're naming these, we will still name the first compound or first element involved. We will name an IDE the second compound. Okay, but we have to use these prefixes. Okay, for the second guy, the one that gets IDE'd, you always prefix. Okay, you always use a prefix, whether there's 1, whether there's 10, we don't care, you always prefix. For the first element in the compound though, there's a couple ways to talk about it. No mono, you never use mono, or you could say it as only prefix when it is greater than 1. Okay, and we'll show some examples here in a second. I'll make that a little clearer. Okay, so we better go through and write down the names of these prefixes. Okay, so 1 is mono. Prefix for 1 is mono. Okay, the prefix for 2 is di. The prefix for 3 is tri. The prefix for 4 is tetra. 5 is penta. 6 is hexa. 7 is hepta. 8 is octa. 9 is nona. 10 is deca. Okay, I can't think of a compound where I've ever seen 11. It's undeca. 12 shows up once in a blue moon. It's dodeca, but these are the ones that we use all the time. Okay, so now here's what we're saying: you never mono the first guy. You will mono, di, tri, whatever the second guy. Okay, so we never prefix the first one if it's mono. So an example of somebody that we know the name of, okay, is this. You better know the name of that one. Okay, CO2, carbon dioxide. You all know that's name. Okay, so let's look at how this shows the rules. There's only one C, so you don't prefix it. No mono. It's not called monocarbon dioxide. We know that. Okay, carbon dioxide, always prefix the second one. So let's look at another example of that. Okay, right, our poisonous gas from car exhaust. Okay, carbon monoxide. Okay, so still you never mono the first one, you always prefix the second one. So we're looking at carbon monoxide. Okay, and then a note on this: you just kind of get the feel. Notice it's not monu with 2 O's in there. You got to figure out when to cut off the ends of these prefixes. Sometimes the A's will get chopped off when the element starts with a vowel. And the short version is, if it sounds stupid, it's not right. Okay, you just have to get the feel for that. Okay, so our examples that we have over here, I'm going to go ahead and erase these rules so this isn't so cluttered. Okay, erase these examples that you already know. Okay, so let's practice our rules here. You go ahead and pause the tape, take a shot at these, okay, and we'll put them up here on the board. Okay, so looking at the first one, there's 4 of them, which means we have to prefix this guy. Okay, so the prefix for 4 is tetra, and that is sulfur. Okay, notice you never IDE the first guy. Okay, and then the second one you always prefix, so that's another tetra. Okay, and that's nitrogen. You IDE it, so that's tetrasulfur, tetranitride. Okay, our second one, we only have 1, so all you do is write its name, iodine. Always prefix the second guy, so that's mono, and that's chlorine becomes chloride. Run out of room there. Okay, the last one, okay, there's 2, so you use the prefix. Just write its name, so that's diphosphorus. Okay. Always prefix the second guy. Pent, and here's an example. It's not pentaoxide, it's just pentoxide. Okay. Real simple. Blue blues. No mono the first guy. Always prefix IDE the second guy.